Hi, this is Francesco Rulli. I am here today as the cognitive officer and digital officer of the Opera di Santa Maria del Fiore, the Duomo and Cathedral of Florence. I'm here today with Amaresh Tripathy, who is the global business leader of analytics at Genpact, also a dear friend and inspiration. And I have been sharing with Amaresh our journey of building the artificial intelligence of Michelangelo, and he had the opportunity to interact with it. We're here today to hear his thoughts about the values of art, culture, and spirituality in today's world and the contribution of artificial intelligence. So Amaresh, if you can share with us your thoughts on these matters.
Absolutely. Francisco, first, always lovely to chat with you. I mean, what's really fascinating when I kind of interacted with the conversational AI essentially there was how consumable you're trying to make basically art, culture, and eventually spirituality as you wanted to get it done. And being an analytics leader like all my career, I know like what's the hard work that goes into kind of producing an insight, right? It's a very hard work to go from collecting all the data, organizing it, structuring it, kind of sieving through all of that maths and everything, and then you kind of produce an insight. But to be candid, that's actually the easy part. The harder part is actually consuming that, and how do you make it easy to consume that stuff? And like numbers and math, which are sometimes harder to consume, I think many times art and spirituality and a lot of the innovation and a lot of history is not very easy to consume, and it's wonderful to see you taking the lead and driving that.
Thank you, thank you. So let me share with you a little bit of the secret sauce of what we created. We have a team of 4 experts in Florence, Monsignor Timothy Verdon, Rita, who is the direct supervisor, or other 2 younger experts who are Giovanni and Monica. And they all supervise the knowledge. The knowledge we collect is thousands of questions asked to Michelangelo, sorted by the artificial intelligence, presented back to the experts, and then they together decide of how to shape the answers. Very personal questions, including his sexual orientation, what he likes to eat, what he likes to wear, shaped some very interesting questions. The next step is for Michelangelo to ask us questions. So those 4 experts, they actually shaped the knowledge base based on the questions that were asked. It's almost like building a knowledge base off of the questions instead of what you know.
Yes, I mean, we in the world of business, we say those 4 people are the bilingual talent in some ways, who are trying to kind of shape the question, but they understand both equal amount of technology, and I'm sure they all understand a great deal about Michelangelo also.
Yes. Now that COVID has actually created a lot of problems with people's mental health,
yes,
we also have established a plan to present Michelangelo as a guidance to people that want to kind of like run by their thoughts by him with his 455 years of experience. He actually, the Cathedral of Florence was built during the Black Plague.
That's true.
And those people around his circle all suffered let's say the benefits and the disadvantages of the Black Plague, because also sponsored this growth of the Renaissance. So what are your thoughts about the values of culture and art today, that we're so in depth with technology, but at the same time, we're still humans looking for an outlet of expression?
Yeah, I'll just tell you, so one of my heroes is Richard Feynman, right? He was an American physicist. And he used to tell a quote, and which I always remember, is if you're a scientist and you understand, like you look at a flower, it's not like you only look at kind of the physics part of it, but the fact that you understand the physics, right, of how kind of petals work and fractals and how they kind of grow, it actually adds to the beauty of the flower. It doesn't take away from it, right? So sometimes it's seen as technology and art or culture is kind of at odds with each other. I would actually say they enhance each other, right? I mean, if you understand how the light works and how painting and pigment and color work, you probably can appreciate other dimensions of the art apart from the just pure aesthetic one. So I think one is it's probably a false choice about saying if you do technology you cannot understand art and culture, which you clearly are showing that. And secondly, I think it enhances the experience even more because you're adding a whole lot different dimension to it.
Fantastic. Okay, so thank you, Amaresh, for your perspective, and let's talk more going forward when we create, an even further developed version of Michelangelo in the Renaissance. Thank you.
I look forward to it, and good luck in the coming months and days.
Thank you.
In the heart of Florence, an enormous church, the cathedral, surmounted by the dome begun 600 years ago by Filippo Brunelleschi, marks the beginning of the Renaissance, the dawn of modern history. Called Santa Maria del Fiore, the cathedral is the center of a unique monumental complex whose masterpieces transformed European art. Works by Giotto, Ghiberti, Donatello, Luca della Robbia, Paolo Uccello, Andrea del Castagno, Antonio Polavolo, Verrocchio, Michelangelo, and Giorgio Vasari throng the buildings and museum enlarged and reinstalled from 2012 to 2015, giving voice to the faith and creativity of Florentines from the age of the Crusades to the present. Commissioned and financed by the citizens of Florence, the baptistry, cathedral, and bell tower express the vision that this city had and still has, as well as its ability to touch the mind and feelings of all who love it. The more than 2 million women and men from every part of the globe who every year visit the monuments confirm, moreover, the universality of the message, which all can grasp thanks to its underlying humanism. The institution responsible for the monuments and museum, the Cathedral Foundation, or Opera di Santa Maria del Fiore, founded in 1296, has organized various itineraries for visitors according to people's specific interests and available time. The key element of every visit is intelligibility, and a broad range of didactic tools allows all to read the cultural and technical aspects of our buildings and masterpieces. From the mysteries of religious iconography to those of structural engineering, and from the styles of our artists to the policies of those who commission the works, everything is translated into accessible language, in publications and apps, in guided visits and videos on the social networks. The opera engages its real and virtual friends in a passionate dialogue on the beautiful, the good, and the true, in the carved and painted faces of its prophets and saints, in the self-portraits of its artists, among which that of Michelangelo, as in the transcendent spaces of its structures. The Opera di Santa Maria del Fiore invites you to discover the strength of character, the greatness of soul, the mystic interiority of Florence and of the Renaissance.